Hello and welcome to Owen Horn of Africa with Mazen Madrasa. The headlines. Ministry says Ethio-Russian manufacturing partnership is beacon of success. Kenya and European Union sign historic trade deal. First, the news in brief. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Dammaqee Mokonnon received a delegation led by the Director General of the Africa Risk Capacity Group, an African Union agency, Ibrahim Sheikh Dieng, today. During the meeting, Dammaqee said that it was a good opportunity to be a member of this emerging insurance group and said disasters, be it man-made or natural, are at times inevitable. However, it is the forecasting preparedness and response to them that makes the difference. Dammaqee also said setting up an early warning national capacity and putting in place robust response mechanisms, followed by rehabilitation and rebuilding works, are essential steps to cope with disasters. And Ethiopia has been doing so through the National Disaster Prevention and Response Commission, which has a secretariat that is comprised of different line ministries. He said that Ethiopia has a disaster management strategy, although it is under revision to make it more focused on agriculture and help the country build its own capacity to withstand disasters. For his part, Ibrahim Dieng congratulated Ethiopia for joining Africa Risk Capacity Group. He said a high-level delegation that accompanied him shows the strong partnership and collaboration Africa Risk Capacity Group wish to have with Ethiopia. Africa Risk Capacity is committed to working with Ethiopia in responding to disasters based on the country's need. An Ethiopian delegation headed by Adaanach Abeebe, mayor of Finfinne City, has arrived in Shanghai, China's prominent commercial hub, for an official working visit. The purpose of the visit, according to Finfinne City Communication, is to engage in official activities and discussions with counterparts in Shanghai with the aim of strengthening bilateral relations and exploring potential areas of collaboration. In addition to the official tour, the delegation from the Finfinne City administration engaged in discussions with the leaders of the Shanghai City Planning and Natural Resources Bureau. The focus of these discussions revolved around various aspects of urban structural planning and implementation, infrastructure construction and integration, land utilization and management, and strategies for building a modern city. The delegation sought to learn from Shanghai's expertise in these areas and explore ways to apply similar approaches in Ethiopian cities. The delegates visit the possibility of sharing Shanghai's digitalized services in the process of building a smart city with Ethiopian cities. The aim was to foster collaboration and identify opportunities for working together in the future. Welcome back. This is Owen Horn of Africa. Now the news in detail. Deputy Speaker of the House of People's Representatives, Lomi Osas, the House of People's Representatives will strengthen its support for the effectiveness of the structural and institutional reform of cooperative unions. A relevant discussion has been held with stakeholders here in Adama town. Daniel Chala has a story.
The House of People's Representatives has held a forum with the relevant institutions to bring common understanding on the development and growth reforms in the cooperative unions. Speaking on the event, Deputy Speaker of the House of People's Representative Lomi Osas said cooperative unions play a vital role in accelerating development by using their energy, money and knowledge together. She stated that the cooperative unions are doing a better job by providing and distributing resources for increasing agricultural productivities, stabilizing the market of goods and services, developing the culture of saving and participating in investment. The deputy speaker further stated that in order for the unions to be more effective, the monitoring and control activities should be strengthened, including the barriers of organization, modern operation, and leadership. The House of People's Representative will support the development and growth reforms in line with institution building, quality service and legal frameworks. The reforms that have been initiated will enable the unions to strengthen their capital capacity, increase their share of technology and supply, enhance their competitive role in the domestic and foreign markets, and strengthen their investment participation. She said. Commissioner of the Ethiopian Cooperative Unions Commission, Getachew Males, for his part said in order for the sector to be able to support indigenous economic reforms, it is necessary to create competitive and influential cooperatives in the domestic and foreign markets. He also mentioned that there are more than 106,000 cooperatives, associations and unions in the country with a capital of 59 billion birr and 27 million members.
The development and growth reform is all-inclusive. It includes all stakeholders. It is important to improve their leadership and management system and enable them to be led by trained human resources and to lead them in a uniform system and organization. The reform will help to solve problems in the area, including the problems of organization, operation, service delivery, and waste of resources.
Ministry of Industry Malaku Alabal said the Ethio-Russia partnership in manufacturing sector as a beacon of collaborative success. Russian business delegation led by Russia's head of Federal Agency on Mineral Resources, Evgeny Petrov, is here in Ethiopia to explore investment opportunities. The delegation held bilateral meeting with the Minister of Industry Malaku Alabal today. During the occasion, the minister highlighted synergies and future possibilities that lie in the collaboration between the two countries in trade and investment, manufacturing sector in particular. This partnership marks a significant journey of collaboration, promising to shape the future of the two nations. He elaborated.
Russia's technological prowess complements Ethiopia's dynamic economy, creating a synergy that is beneficial for both. Our relationship extending beyond trade is anchored in investment and cultural exchange, fostering a comprehensive partnership. In the manufacturing sector, Ethiopia and Russia are leveraging their strengths for mutual benefit.
The minister also said that Russia's role as a critical trading partner brings technology and expertise to Ethiopia, while Ethiopia offers access to one of Africa's fastest growing markets.
Ethiopian-Russia partnership in manufacturing and other investment fields is a beacon of collaborative success. I'm hopeful that today's meeting will further strengthen. As we jointly navigate these paths, our shared efforts will undoubtedly forge a prosperous future for both Ethiopia and Russia.
The Ethiopian Authority for Research and Conservation of Cultural Heritage has announced that Ethiopia is finalizing document arrangements to register more tangible and intangible heritage. Director General of the Authority, Assistant Professor Ababa Ayalo, briefed the media regarding the tangible and intangible heritage registered by UNESCO in the current fiscal year. Ashat Opsi has a story.
Assistant Director General of the Ethiopian Authority for Research and Conservation of Cultural Heritage, Assistant Professor Awayalo, in media briefing said the Harari Nations Shualid celebration was inscribed as an intangible cultural heritage on the 18th Intangible Heritage Forum held in Botswana, Kasane, between December 4 to 9. Ababa also mentions that Bali Mountains National Park and the Gedio Cultural Landscape were registered as World Heritage Sites in the same year. He further states that the identification and preparation of documents to register Melkakunture prehistoric archaeological site have been completed and sent to the relevant body to register them in 2024.
Right now, we do have one tangible and two intangible heritages filed for registration. The tangible one is the Melkakunture Paleolithic site. Melkakunture is a heritage that goes back to millions of years and shows evolution of mankind clearly. It is a heritage that shows stone tools usage of humans and has no competent in Africa and the world. We've submitted the file and the inspection team has come and did the inspection work.
Ababa pointed out that in 2024 it is being tried to register the traditional and oral legal system of Isa. He mentions that the registration process of the common heritage is done between Ethiopia, Somalia and Djibouti, and Ethiopia is carrying out the document preparation.
The intangible heritage we submitted is Herisen. It is a traditional and oral legal system. It is a tripartite transnational file. Somali Republic, Djibouti and Ethiopia. Ethiopia has taken the role of preparation and coordinating the process.
Ababa says that tangible and intangible heritage inscribed by UNESCO create opportunity to attract tourists. It is to be recalled that Demara and Timkat festivals, as well as Fichich and Balala and Gada system, have already been inscribed as intangible cultural heritage.
President of Democracy and Human Rights for Africa, Fado Zakaria Fado, says Ethiopia is naturally a leader among African countries that enables it to participate in free trade initiatives and play a great role in creating unique currency for African countries. He elaborated that Ethiopia is a landlocked country, regardless of being one of the biggest countries in Africa in terms of civilization, culture, and having big population, which is detrimental to its economy. Phantom Bellet reports.
President of Democracy and Human Rights for Africa non-profit organization, Fadul Zakaria, said Ethiopia is a hub for African Union and it is a leader in African countries. He added that Ethiopia can get involved in free trade area and can play great role in creating unique currency for African countries.
Ethiopia is hosting the African Union, is home to the African Union organization. So naturally, Ethiopia has the duty to be a leader in Africa and pretty much get involved in any occasion for free trade initiatives. Not only that, another point that's really important and I would like to see Ethiopia play a major role is the problem of currency. In Africa we have about 14 countries that use the same currency that is printed in France right now. Ethiopia can play a role where we can have a unique, it's a project, where we can have a unique currency, and with Ethiopia being in the center and other big African countries such as Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt, for example, along with Ethiopia, we can definitely create a unique currency for African countries, and this will probably impact more than anything that Africa ever done. for its development.
The president noted that access to seaport is crucial for the economy of a country, and Ethiopia is a landlocked country having more than 100 million people, which is tending to cause harm to its economy.
The access to seaport is very important for any economy. Let's take, for example, if you can take the example of, for example, today Cameroon and Benin, with their economy, a big portion of their economy, relies on their ports. Ethiopia is one of the biggest countries in Africa in terms of civilization, in terms of culture, and Ethiopia, of course, with almost 100 million people, not having a port, I think is detrimental to its economy.
He explained that African Union has external influences and the resolution and decision of African Union are not respected in some African countries to ensure peace and stability.
Even the African Union itself has a lot of external influence, and also the resolution and the decisions taken by the African Union are not really respected by a lot of African countries. And we can see recent examples with all of these coup, with all of this transition ongoing. We can clearly see that the resolutions or the decisions of African Union are not literally taken into consideration. One example would be Chad, for example. The African Union is not like one country or one department taking the decision. It's a few countries sometimes voting for a resolution. So there is always the possibility of them being split. Some of them supporting A and others supporting B, for example, which makes it also harder for the African Union to enforce its resolutions and views.
Fadul pointed out that it is important for Africans to understand the need for strong democratic institutions, culture of justice, and equality.
It's important for us to understand the need for strong democratic institutions rather than strong people. I always say that Africa doesn't need strong people. Africa needs strong institutions, democratic institutions. Also, we should cultivate the culture of justice and equality, which are definitely the prerequisites to peace and stability.
ATO Engineering Group CEO Ambassador Suleiman Dadafo says there is plenty of opportunity in Ethiopia for Russian business community in various sectors. A letter of intent was signed between ATO Engineering Group and Lada Export, a Russian car manufacturing company. Leta Teresa reports.
ATO Engineering Group signed a letter of intent with Lada Export, a Russian car manufacturing company, to assemble the vehicles in Ethiopia. During the signing ceremony, ATO Engineering Group CEO Ambassador Suleiman Dadafo mentioned that there are abundant opportunities for Russian business community in Ethiopia in various sectors like mining industry, trade, manufacturing, and agro-processing. On the other hand, he said there are also a lot of opportunities for Ethiopian business community in Russia, particularly in exporting. Therefore, the CEO stressed the need to bridge between the two sides to ensure mutual benefit.
There are a lot of opportunity for Russian business community in Ethiopia, in industry, in mining, in trade, in manufacturing in different sectors, agriculture and agro-processing. And for Ethiopian business community, there is a lot of opportunities in Russia, especially in exporting. So we have to bridge between the two sides so that we can benefit out of that. The Ethiopian side is very keen. Therefore, as a business organization, my group and its industries are also very keen to take active part in the relationship between Ethiopia and Russia.
He expressed the keenness of the ATO Engineering Group to actively engage in the relationship between the two countries. The letter of intent signed between the two countries is intended to bring the latest generation of Lada car to Ethiopia.
The letter of intent that we signed just minutes ago is an indication of our desire to work with Russian counterparts. And Lada, you may have seen on the streets of Addis Ababa, 40 years old Ladas are still operating. So now we have to bring the latest generation of LADA to our capital street and to our customers also. I'm very hopeful that it will satisfy the demand of many car owners in Ethiopia.
Evgeny Petrov, head of the Russian Federal Agency for Mineral Resources, for his part said that Russian companies have shown great interest for realization of projects in Ethiopia. He added the time has come to work for the benefit of the two countries.
And the time has come today to unite our efforts to work for the benefit of our citizens. So we are going to find partners for each, mostly for each of those companies.
Со стороны российских компаний огромная заинтересованность в реализации проектов на территории Эфиопии.
Russian companies shows great interest for realization projects in Ethiopia.
You are watching Open Horn of Africa. Now the news from abroad. Kenya and the European Union on Monday signed a long negotiated trade agreement to increase the flow of goods between the two markets as Brussels pursues stronger economic